Hello everybody, we are back with the PUBG Europe contenders. As always, you've got, oh wait a second, I'm back. We've got no Cormac, no Imperium. He is disappearing. He filled in for me a week very kindly. He had to put up with Toby. I got some time away from you, Toby. But sadly, mate, yeah, I'll tell you this. I went away for a week and I met more Danish people. And they have worse humour than you.
I know.
So
it's a thing. It's a curse.
Yeah, I'm actually quite happy. I'm back with you. I'm like, oh, I can just relive this again. It's not the end of the world. But yes, you've got me and Toby. But let's do this, right? Because it's been crazy.
It has.
I've been seeing the standings. I've been looking at what's going on. But for anyone that maybe just be tuning in and getting back involved and saying, well, wait a second, what the hell's been happening? Toby, break this down for us.
Look at the leaderboards right now. Well, I think the biggest takeaway is, even though it's a small point margin right now, the Northern Giants in Northern Lights, they were sitting first place throughout the whole thing, but Gamerlegion and No Tag have surpassed them. Gamerlegion have long thrown away their second place curse. They've started getting themselves some wins in there. And then teams like Se7en in the final 2 days, they started waking up as well. They were miles down there. Moonwolf as well started separating themselves a bit from that bottom 16. So things like, I mean, we're seeing things from teams that we haven't seen a whole lot from in the finals starting to stand out now. And honestly, with the break these guys have had over the weekend, I have no way of saying, like literally no way of saying who's going to shine this week, because everybody at this point has had each their game or each their couple of games where we've been like, okay, we see what you're doing there, we see what you got, you can bring some good stuff. So this, to me, even though we got the standings the way they are right now, is still very open.
Now, looking at this, mate, Moonwolf, right, they were looking very strong. We were praising them in many ways, Occo being one of those standout players for them. They're down in 14th right now. Then we've also got Avangar in 12th.
Things are pretty interesting down there. I mean, Moonwolf were down. You can see the point gap between 14th and 15th right now. They were down there with a bit more of a bump up towards those higher placements, but with a couple of good games, they had a second place followed by a win on the final day. So with those two good games thrown in there, that threw them up with the bunch. And of course, for those you guys out there watching, it is about being 12th or higher if you want to have a shot at making it into PEL for phase 3, of course. So it's not, I mean, even though you want to win because there's no money on the line, you still, I mean, I think the main mission right now for a team like Moonwolf is get the hell out of bottom 12. I mean, that's not what you want to say.
Now, one thing I've been looking at, right, and I'm looking at it right now, is Give It from No Tag Team and Jupesig. Give It's got 30 kills, Jupesig with 25. Quizzy coming in from Northern Lights, he's got himself 29, so there's quite a nice battle going on between these teams in terms of who's getting these kill points. And when you look at the points in total down here, 1.1 kill, that can be the huge difference maker here. Yeah,
and it normally tends to be whenever you see the end of a season. We talked Quickmath the other day and how they're a team that we've always called kind of passive. They like to go send up. They like to take their time. But then all of a sudden, they toss out a 17-kill win, and you're like, wait, what? On Erangel as well, which is the map we're playing today. So who knows what they'll be able to bring now? We called them the passive Quickmath, right? But all of a sudden, they can toss out crazy double-digit wins, the highest one we've had in all of the finals. So interesting in seeing how they'll fare today and on Wednesday on Erangel.
And just to explain how passive we used to call them, is because they used to go Severny, and even when they get a circle for Severny, they would still somehow find a way to avoid fights. They were like, we're ducking and diving around all those teams. But they've got 3 matches to do it in today. Remember, now we've moved on over to the final stage. It's 3 games per day. We eke it out a little bit longer, but it gives teams a better chance here to really adapt and improve themselves day by day. Also,
the interesting thing is we get to finish up the same week as PEL does. So whenever these guys are done playing, believe me, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they'll be sitting and they'll be watching PEL, making sure which 4 teams are we going up against in Berlin for potential spot at kicking them out of the league. Now, game has started. For those of you guys are watching, if you have a second monitor by your side, do make sure to toss up that map stream as well. It does come in extremely handy every now and again. So I think !map in the chat would suffice, or else it's PEL_esports_map. And you will get all the info you could possibly want. But game number 1, pretty straightforward. 4AK, they're going north. They've given up Military Island. No big surprises there. And then Moonwolf seems like they'll be headed back down to Novo.
Yeah, so this is a tough play, and again, I come back and we make things problematic as we're looking at Mil to Power. If you guys are watching the map stream, it's appearing for you anyway. But Se7en and Avangar on top of each other. Those two teams, very aggressive teams in their own way, close by. could be quite an interesting one if they want to challenge this. Or do they just try and get the hell out of there and avoid each other? Do you take this bigger risk? Because we looked at where they were on the standings, and it's not optimal if either of them go down early.
Neither team can really afford any zero-place games at this point. We only have 2 weeks left to play. We've hit the halfway mark. You can see the match 25 out of 48 now.
You're gonna make me cry, Toby.
So if you're any of these guys down there, gotta play it smart. And of course, Se7en, they normally wanted to go Razak. This time around, though, they have a whole lot further to go because the West is where they're headed.
And there is literally what? 1, 2, 3, 4 teams that are actually in it at the moment. PGA team going to be pretty damn happy. They're still gliding their way on down, but they have a lot of space now to work with, and they'll know from looking around that no one is even close. No one at hospital, no one at Jordan, no one's gone that far north. It's only Quickmath that have jumped in their vehicles and said, do you know what? We'll go to our tried and tested position here. And it could work out for them. They end up being all the way up the north, right? Yes, a little bit longer for their actual looting, but then they can come back round and there potentially isn't any teams up there.
I mean, one of the things that make Quickmath as consistent in getting to the top as they are is they always rotate out of Se7en. You could probably not get it further southern playing than one we just saw, and still they say, you know what, we don't care where the circle went, we don't care where the plane was, we're going to go Se7en and we're going to start our journey from there because that's where we know how to rotate out from. So they never get that first player rotating caught on and getting taken out. They always manage to find their way into those late game circles, which of course has thrown them into the position at which they are. But Besiktas, to me, looting in the kind of split loot on Military Island, they were sharing this for a little while with We Need a Home because, well, with planes that didn't really up for going against Naya, We Need a Home wanted to go down there too, but seems like they kicked them down and out. They've gone back up north, and then Besiktas, they got all of that side for themselves.
And this is the thing we've seen, right? We've seen Besiktas do this a couple of times before, and a lot of it, even when we had the military circle pop for them, didn't work out because, yes, they had the split, but when all those teams started to get closer to them, they were getting picked apart. And Northern Lights are well aware that they like to do this every now and again.
Got to keep in mind, though, that the last military game we saw was a Northern Lights 16th place with 0 kills, very contradicting to what we've seen them do before. So I'm sure they'll have that in the back of their head whenever, or if ever, we do manage to get ourselves back to the island.
I got to say, Toby, it's good to be back, but you've upset me in the fact that you just reminded me we've only got 2 weeks left. This is it. We're already getting to this point. It's so rapid.
Yup.
I felt like, you know, when we started Final Stage, I was like, oh, yeah, we've got all this time ahead of us, so many games, and oh, no, that quickly turns around. And for a lot of these players, they'll be thinking in their head, okay, it is literally do or die time already because, yes, you can get away with a good win or two every now and again, but as we've said it, we've seen teams get wins and still be up in 14th place, for example.
I want to put it this way. I mean, the fact that we can have a group of teams playing at the level they do, and then you have a team like Avangar, who is, I mean, when you discuss them in a common basis, they're arguably one of the very good teams in it. Have them sit currently in 12th place. I mean, that's where you go, okay, that just proves. I mean, that just proves the strength of what we have here, right? Very interested in seeing. Okay, bro. Gets an angle on towards Lux. Does manage to spin out the vehicle, but it's Besiktas, you know, they can just stop and... Oh, okay. Want to get out of that one. Ghost vehicle.
His vehicle is going to see him get picked apart a little bit. Ultra's joined out to help him. Simsy's there with the other car, so they are looking to try and hold on to this. They do not want to allow any early kills coming in. But okay, bro, well aware of what's going on. There's no need for him to aggress on this just yet. And he will just watch, tap away, see what other damage he can get done. But I like this from Besiktas. Stick together. Don't just run off, charging forward. Only Tamil is in the more forward position. The rest of them have kept it all together, which gives them a better chance of actually saving this, say someone did get knocked.
They know there are more important fights ahead of them, and they do not want to risk having Winside here. These guys engaging each other on the bridge. That would just make them turn around, sit and say, come to us, guys. We'll be waiting for you. So playing it smart, getting that rotation on quickly. And Besiktas as well, a team that has really been stepping up over the last week. They started getting things together, starting getting kills where before they couldn't. And now they've gotten... I want to say like the 3 teams that have impressed me the most with how they've played over the last couple of days would probably be Besiktas and Se7en to a certain extent as well. They've changed up some things like we saw in the group stages, and then probably throw in Moonwolf in there, or Desperados, to be honest.
Now no tag team. They're getting themselves off here early towards Gatka. They're going to take us into position straight away in this circle, and still so much more room. All these teams coming in from this eastern side. It is a long route ahead of all of them. 4AK got themselves split up around Stalber. and then across towards Lipovka and everything else around it. We regularly started to see them actually meet up with We Need a Home and have some of those battles, but it won't be necessary now. These are the teams that are going to opt for these northern rotations. My question is, when will Quickmath do that? Because they were later to Severny, they took the drive over there, but now if they are later to rotating from the north, then they could be having some of these fights that they not necessarily want to take early on.
I think what they're going to do here is just let everyone pass through. There's no point in them. I mean, if you're a late rotating team anyway, which they are, there's no point in saying, oh, let's just rotate in but at the same time as everyone else is, because that's where you get into those kind of RNG-ish moments of who spots who gets out of the car first kind of scenarios. And I mean, if you're a smart player, you do everything you can to avoid the RNG factor. And if you know approximately when other teams like to rotate on given circles, well, that's what you play around. Gifted, also a team to shoot over towards Besiktas. And Winside as well, they had themselves a pretty good showing last week. That's what I'm saying. We can say this about all the teams. They all had, at each their point, things that were going their way, which is just making things even more scary.
It just goes to show how stacked Contenders is. All these teams vying for a spot. They want to try and get themselves into the Pro League and prove that some of those teams that are in Pro League at the moment may not deserve to be there.
There's a lot up for grabs, of course, the money and the pride, but also just a statement in saying we can deal with the big guys. We are part of that whole endeavor. Rip goes down. Pelsish, rotation kill for Quickmath. Again, more aggressive than we've seen them before.
Yeah, different style. We're just saying it, right? Are they going to leave Severny? Well, they left Severny already, and they've grouped up with everyone around them. Desperado, We Need a Home, 4AK, all close by, and Quickmath are just looking to take shots and try and pick up some additional kills here. They want to see if they can upset any of these teams and have a numbers advantage going into it.
Yeah, they know that that this is going to be one of those highway rotations for a lot of teams. The plane was south, the circle is west. You know, nobody, like not everyone is going to just rotate straight over south. Yeah. So they're going to all try and cram their way over the northern side, over those bridges and over Yasnaya. And because you 4AK, Avangar, they're up here as well. Desperados did manage to pull on through there without any real engagements. But they were coming all the way down from Potato Hill. They were running into Tornado Energy there, and that made them say, oh, nope, we got to turn around here. Too many people around us. So they have gone for the long haul, and well, fortunately for them, made it in quite safely.
This is giving you a good overview of where everyone wants to set themselves up. Now, we've had a crazy few quarry games on our hands, which is why you're up to see quite a few teams, hey, oh, could this be working out? Should we go for quarry now early on? But I remember one of those games where it massively went away from it in the end, and everyone scrambled, and they were getting picked off from quite far away because they were just running around in the open in the end.
These circles have been brutal more often than not, that's for sure. Every time you thought, oh, this is what's going to happen, I guess not. You always got to stay on your tippy toes when it comes to these rotations and prepping for, oh, Ronnie, there's a wall. Whenever it comes to rotations and just being prepared for everything. I mean, even though you think you know what's going to happen, just assume that it won't. Like this.
Oh,
half water.
My
What a way
God.
to start off the week, James.
I would feel like I'm a curse at this point because we had to get the first game where I'm back and we're like, yeah, let's really make this. There's no space at all. And Winside will be very happy either way. But Avangar found himself 2 players knocked, 1 eliminated, and straight on after the second one goes down as well. Avangar being found by We Need a Home, and no retaliation able to come in from them at all. Maxazor and Anuctive, they are close by, but they are not looking to try and get involved in this. They're going to be looking to do that typical Avangar style of, well, 2 players is all we need and we can still potentially win games. And
that's one of those things where tendencies start to build up. You see teams doing the same rotations a couple of times in a row, and that's when you can really start planning, okay, if we know this circle, if we know where they're looting, we can just set up shop right here and wait for them. You're always got to be creative and variant in your rotations and your pathing, and stay, I guess, on, what do you call it? Like, not to be expected or be figured out by your opponent.
Yeah, you don't want to be predictable. Right?
Unpredictable. Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, you want to be unpredictable, and you don't want to be predictable.
Exactly.
Definitely not.
This circle is going to be interesting. Plenty of fields still in play. We can see the ones up here as well. Not exactly the perfect place to sit around in the late game situations. And then you have Swarm, and then you have a hell of a lot of water, and also quite a bit of quarry in it still. I mean, it's just a combination of let's not go there. Okay, I guess we have to pick one of them now kind of places.
Yeah, where can we try our luck, basically? Is the luck's not going to work out, for example. Tornado, they've been found by Moonwolf. Occo getting the nade off. You can see this fight going on. They're looking to still push on it. There are some smokes down, but there's going to be no help from Compa or Melbourne because they're completely split away from the rest of their teammates here, which just allows for these easy pickings. And we say about rotations, when you're rotating and you're trying to get a bit of ground, you might have a player scouting ahead further forward. If you do find one getting taken out, now Melman's like, well, okay, I can't even try and help you in this.
And it goes to show the difficulty of the rotations on this particular circle, where we have a double west and hard shift with a lot of teams jumping east. We have yet to see our first kill. Well, now Melman does go down, but we have yet to see our first kill inside the circle. I was just going to say, as the leader does get finished off by Washout, and Gamerlegion get themselves a kill in there as well.
Compot is now all alone with nowhere to look, nowhere to turn, because he is going to be the solo player for Tornado straight off the bat of this. And the problem he's going to have now is, what space do I grab? What do I try and do here?
Yeah. If you're watching the map stream, you can see everyone making their rotations on an octave as well. Trying to do something from the north. Him and Maxisol, the last two remaining players on their team, at least this time around. But of course, I mean, never count them out. An octave is a very bright player, and Maxisol, well, with a bold action in hand, we've seen what he can do. So never, ever count out the Avangar team.
And that's the thing. Most other teams, when they got 1 or 2 players alive, unless there's a solo player who's just literally chilling the whole time, trying to just prone his way forward, snake it up. It's Avangar where I say, okay, 2 alive, yeah, you can actually kill our whole teams. And we still have no idea how they get it done every now and again, but it does seem to work out. This, though, is very difficult when you've got a lobby as stacked as this. And they're also, funny enough, going to be running into Se7en again, who are just down south from them, just outside of the hospital area.
I'm pretty sure they heard an Octave's vehicle there, and they're trying to prepare for it. Circle, centering up as much as it could, does include a bit of water. And it centers around the swarm area. Octave now spots out Pelsish from behind. That's gonna be a good shot connected. He does have Maxis Orb close to that. Could be a kill coming in, and indeed it will be. So a bit of revenge coming in. Maxis Orb taking down an opponent in Quickmath.
And just look at it, right? The spacing they have. They've got a road between them. They wouldn't be able to help each other if they did go down. But an Octave was able to get the first bit of spray down on. Maxor comes in, he's able to do the damage. They've passed on the information, and they've worked together as a team. And this picks them up an extra kill.
Exactly. And this is clearly one of those games where things won't be optimal. I mean, this won't be their 15-kill win, right? And that's what we're talking about. In those games that won't work for you, the difference in whether you go out with 0 points or just 3 or 4 in all of those games, that is so big in the long run. When you have 48 games to play, if you can accumulate that many points overall through your bad games, just this 1 point here could be a difference maker on the end of things.
And Desperado got themselves in a good spot overall. Riddle close by on the 2-2 split. 4AK found themselves some room as well. Compot's still chilling on his own right on the edge. He's got to be careful though, because Moonwolf might want to make their way in not too far away from him.
Yeah, Desperados have taken control of the yellow compound from where they won a game last week, I believe, or the week before that. Really good performance coming out of them. Of course, they're looking to keep that thing going for them. Northern Lights, they are far out on the shoreline. Deep is trying to keep his vehicle running, but I think he's hitting the water with half of it. So it's going to slow it down a bit, and I'm not sure it's going to be able to get over. Oh, he does just get around the corner.
Just in the nick of time, right by the skin of his teeth, as Maxwell's going to land the headshot onto Buster, but Zen and Northern Lights, they are still having this firefight off here. And what's interesting about this position they've got is Zen are in the circle, the Deep and Perfectix, they've managed to get themselves in as well without to run past. But Quizzy and OK Bro, they've still got a way to go here. So they are split apart now, and this is where Zen could thrive if they wanted to.
This is where the 2 guys that did make it through, Deep and Perfectix, needs to land some sort of shots on Zoekt and force them down to heal. Even better, force them to rest up their teammate, give their teammates some sort of space and time to maneuver around, because their eyes are completely isolated over in that direction. Now look at this one. Fex does manage to find one. He's going to get spotted out, though, and that's going to be McCann trying to cross around here.
Oko finds himself getting taken out. Maxor's been knocked at the same time as well. Gamerlegion, our current #1 team, looking to put the hurt on everyone else around them, but they are going to start losing players. Avangar do find themselves being eliminated. They will be our first team down. They still got 1 kill at least in there. We're up at 3 already for Gamerlegion. The problem here is they are now going to be outnumbered in this firefight.
Exactly. Only Hamster and Mackin left remaining, and Hamster is isolated over by the little shack you saw him just before. There's no way he can really apply any pressure for Mackin, because as you can see, Moonwolf, they know exactly where he is, and every single time he peeks out, you can see it right there. Watch out. Immediately there to shoot him over towards him.
Oh, wow, Hamster took a lot of damage. Going to make sure he's able to get some cover here. McCann is seeing what's going on around him and thinking, oh man, how would I even do from here? As Besiktas also want to get involved. So this is where Moonwolf could actually find themselves under more pressure than they expected, because Gamerlegion might be able to get away of just hiding this out while Besiktas start to get involved in looking at a third party.
Yeah, I was gonna say Edgecast is a scary place to sit and rest up on an open roof like that, but he tried. Didn't really pan out. The watch-out does go down, but Macken is starting to get pressure applied from the swamp now as well. Besiktas wanting to charm in on this one. It's not gonna make things any easier.
Once again for 7 players being knocked down. Are they going to be finished off as well? Riddle trying to do the job, but 4AK, Ronnie Cray is going to get involved as well, and there are so many kills coming in off this rotation. We've centered up, we've kept it pretty even overall, but all these teams are fighting for a lot of space.
Yeah.
But not a lot of compounds to work from here. A lot of open areas is the problem.
And that's the thing, right? When you have a lot of compounds in an area, you can live with the guy being in the compound next door, because, well, I mean, you have the hard cover available. Whenever everyone's forced out into the open, all of a sudden you need that much more buffer space in order to stay put. Mac, and he really wanted the kills towards the Moonwolf players, tried to charm and chase it down, but no kills coming in there, so he's just going to make the run from behind, and it's not going to be easy. He's going to have to cross that road, and believe me, there's going to be a lot of eyes looking that way.
Now, PG18, they were the team that have been in the circle since the very beginning. They're starting to get some kills in, and they are going to actually take down Moonwolf next, who may have had some kills, but they were fighting on all fronts, and they will be going down in 15th.
There's been fights all over the place so far. Tough plane followed by even worse circles. Didn't really make things a lot easier for these players. And now Desperado, Contenders has been taken down, but Fake and Talsera, they're there to help, and them and Riddle need to square things off here before one of them can take the safe spot in the circle.
And this is it for Calvin. The reason he's going to go down is because there was no cover, no trees nearby. He was out in the open trying to hope that he could stand up. But Riddle, they had him marked, they had his number. With this smoke being down, though, Fake's going to try and bring him up. Tozera's close by to bring the other player up, but Gamerlegion, the number 1 team, out in 14th. These rotations didn't work out for them. They will pay the price for it.
It's a big one. That's a tough loss for them. They, of course, were in first place coming into this game, and they just managed to get themselves 4 kills, so maybe they'll stay put for a little while longer. We'll have to wait and see. Sins and Riddle, they're doing everything they can to hold off Desperados, but of course, Desperados have their players being outside of the circle. There's really only one way they can go, because they know Swarm is taken, and well, it's not going to make things easy for them.
Now Fake got the tree to work from. As soon as Hanny pops out, he was able to hit the shot. Now he's going to continue to shoot through the smoke and see if he can pick him apart. Not going to be able to connect the shots just yet, but the craziness here is, yes, they are the team on the north, but you've got Riddle, Quickmath, and 4AK all close by who know exactly what's going on.
So Talsera get the knock there. That's going to allow for his teammate in Contenders to make the full speed forward. You know, at least they're going for the rest. Allowed to make the cross on over, and that is going to be Riddle down, so that fight does find an end, but not before they immediately start taking fire by 4AK, who has spotted them out on the other side. Zoekt Een Naam as well, a team we haven't really talked a whole lot about last week, but that's mainly because there wasn't a whole lot to talk about. They were a little quiet, but of course you know what caliber team they are. We're expecting better things from them, and hopefully we get to see it this game.
Now this new circle's about to pop, and we are going to go up north just a little bit further. Desperado's still in it. No tag team going to be very happy with this and how it's working out. 4AK right on the edges. Compot he's finally found. He tried to creep his way in. The moment he got onto the road, he gets splatted and slapped back down by PG18, so that'll end his chances.
This circle is horrible on all parts. We have swamp and we have a big field. That is all you have to work with, and there's no playing in that field, so you just got to full speed send it down into the swarm area and hope that you can make some sort of space for yourself. Ival is trying to hold the angle here. Page has already been taken down. We saw T-Bone go down in their first rotation too, and they have 0 kills so far. And this is the thing, even though they've stayed alive for this long, 19 minutes into a game like this is hard, they could go out with 0 points once again.
Ival looking at what shots he can try and land here. Going to push back Simsy for now. Keep spotting him out, but can't quite touch it. And this is where Ival will start to get frustrated. He knows that he needs to land a few of these, but while he's doing that, he's going to be found by Tamil. And actually, that's a good distraction job being done there. Besiktas able to get the knock in. Can they get the finish off? Yes, they do.
Needed the damage in there, but it's not going to happen. Simsy spots out the 2 remaining players. One nifty nade for an over. He does have a Molotov as well. Yep, throw it up, throw it over. See what damage you can get done in there. Start burning, but not so much. Simsy with the M16 as well. That's an interesting pickup.
Then they'll go down. Nades galore coming their way on top of the Molotovs that were at their feet. It's not going to work out from this time around. Like you said it, no kills being had there. Despite getting into 20 minutes of the game, they will just walk away with a big fat 0.
That is going to be tough for them. They already were in a, I guess you can say, somewhat of a downhill spiral. But of course, this will play more games for them to turn things around with their us hitting the halfway market.
So Northern Lights, we've seen multiple good games come out from them. Smart decisions on when to engage and when not. They're right on the corner of Winside here, who do have the compound to work from. We saw Quizzy back away a little bit. Perfect is now going to join the rest of them. OK Bro's got the vehicle, but they're now taking extra damage here from 4AK. And 4AK up in the north have been very active, but they are now surrounded by We Need a Home, Desperado, and they're still trying to take this long-range game at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe chill just a little bit.
4AK had the high ground, but they gave it up, and now We Need Home has snuck their way up there. It's going to make things really hard, but Northern Lights here. Deep does get gifted Rue down. Beneficial, of course. That's their flank on this side. Moon is up there to rest, but Northern Lights, they know they don't have an unlimited time to push forward, and Perfectix sense it right now. Yeah,
this is the time to strike. They're trying to find out where they are. Moon's going to move outside of the smoke, and they'll be spotting very shortly. Moon going to get sprayed on down. Gifted Rue trying to hold himself on, but it's not going to work out well for him either. Winside, they find themselves going down in 10th place.
It's going to be all of them down. Tom will get himself 2, and in the end of it, Northern Lights don't get a single kill out of it.
That's a kick in the teeth. We've done all that work, all that damage, and then Besiktas say, hey,
yep,
thanks for that. This looks like a good game for us. But Lux will be blown to smithereens by PG-18, who... PG-18 have been in this. They've been active. They just haven't been fighting a lot.
They've been playing from the swarm area, and you can see the hillside. All these players will eventually have to push on up from. Not going to make things easy whatsoever. Frank as well, from in the downstairs in the Wizard, has managed to stay alive for surprisingly long, all on his own. Shooting when needed to shoot, keeping people at bay, and making sure that no one comes to check that front door.
He sat there like, okay, I must be making as much noise as possible so no one comes out towards me. I like this spot, and I'll try and hold on for at least some placement points. And only one more team needs to go down to make that happen. 25 alive, 24 minutes in. Fake finds nades going his way, and ooh, that was close. Okay, at this point, you may as well just shoot him, because you spent a lot of grenades on this.
Those grenades, we know how valuable they are.
Yeah. They do finally finish him off, but what, that 3 grenades and then they shoot him down. Like, that's vital for later on in this. But Desperados, they'll be out in 9th, and now we have our top 8 teams for game 1 of today.
4AK trying to claw their way back up the leaderboards, currently sitting further down than what they would have wanted to, of course. This could be one of those games to start a path of changing things around. We need a home, I was going to say, able to put on down there, but Frank finds the foot of Paul Derrick, and that's going to be him at least knocked for now. I don't think Frank is going to be able to throw any nades or anything over in that direction with the roof above him, but at least for now, with all these knocks coming in, he's just buying himself some more time.
Now that was a good nade from Perfectix. Is he going to try and push on this? Missay is up in the room as well as Insolento goes down. Perfectix doing the job he needs to do here. He's got his teammates around him. We're up at 3 kills already for Northern Lights, but now it's when they really want to start to get active.
The way that Northern Lights have 2-2 split this one is really, really nice. They know they don't have a lot of terrain to work with, so keeping OK Pro and Perfectix up there and trying to get the high of overview, and then you have the Deep and Quizzy down close, because the field is so flat and the whole hill on the southern side is out now, so they technically have the highest ground right now. Really trying to get the overview before pushing in, so just move with the circle, play on the edge, and play it safe.
More aggression from Quickmath, but you just saw them go down in 8th, and We Need a Home will follow straight after. 4AK, they have full Northern control right now, and they are taking on anyone that steps in their way.
Impressive feat from the guys up in the north, trying to stay put for a little while longer before they'll, maybe we'll see, have to make that push out from there. There's a lot of players down in the swarm barrier. You can see it here as well. Frank somehow in the top 6 here, and honestly, if this circle goes west, it's going to be hard, but evenly so. If it goes east for all these guys that are in the fields now, it's not going to be easy whatsoever.
Yeah, you've got Tom Hill and Frank as the solo players praying for a bit of circle luck to come their way, and it is Frank that'll get it. Tom Hill's just outside, but no tag team. They try to hold on to the compound. PG-18 up at 8 kills. Dees is on the floor. They are going to be able to bring him back up, but they've got to be so cautious of any teams that they don't know, right? There could be a team pushing on around them, but they've got the circle. They've got a nice spot to fight from here, and they've got one of the final few compounds.
Swamp is such a hard place to play around. You can see Perfectix, one nade coming in, getting the knockdown, but he immediately starts getting shot. And look where you are right now, Perfectix, you're in the open. But as we said before, because they have the high ground, because they have Deep and Quizzy up there looking on over the top, they can take these a little more aggressive pushes, but okay, bro, he's down here by himself, and Perfectix nowhere near to help him out.
That is not what you expected to see there at all. Tom Hill, going to be so cautious behind this tractor.
That's all the cover you're going to get, Tom Hill. Maybe you can move to the rock in just a second, but not a whole lot more.
He sat there like, if I move now, Will they see me? Will I get shot? And it's in your mind of like, okay, I've got to go at some point, but when? When's the opportune moment to move forward?
11 players up as a solo player. You just got to be grinding those placement points as best as you can. But again, I mean, he's inside the circle now, right? The only thing is rendering distance. Can they see me, or is it just grass all over the place for them? It's going to be so hard. It's so difficult to kind of do the math on those parts when you're in the action and trying to stay alive.
It's an art of its own. It's a skill of its own that's in the game, right? Understanding those distances where it is rendering and who might be able to see you from where. And if you get too overconfident with it, well, you can pay the price every now and again. As Nixties lands a good few shots here. 45 health, though. Got to be careful. He's got his teammates nearby.
Yeah.
But Northern Lights will certainly get involved in this challenge. They know it's time to strike, and they can't back away from this one. And Quizzy, one of our high kill leaders at the moment throughout the final stages, looking to add more to his bow.
He got himself a knock with it there. The circle's already pushing them in. As far as I can see, up next is and the guys in 4AK. They are all inside the circle now, but this did buy Northern Lights some time to get the rest of Quizzy, though. Takes one to the face. Nope, it's not going to be close enough. Not close enough. And Tumble, eventually, he was found. PG getting themselves closer and closer to that 10-kill game.
Yeah, they are looking to have a big achieving game here on the opener, and they're going to continue to do some more damages. They're going to find Northern Lights, so it's 4AK and PG-18 just completely firing up on into them, and that is it. D's up on 5 kills overall, 10 kills now for PG-18, and they'll be hungry for more. A true killing spree at that, and they're certainly not done. They've taken full circle control here. There is no one else even close to them.
And it's not very often that we see these swarm endings, but we ain't going to cheat you away from when James is back, and that is to be celebrated with a rare circle. Frank, he's just, well, I mean, he's just proning it out, trying to stay alive for as long as possible. Northern Lights, they're going to get their eventual rotation on in. Even more so, they're going to get themselves a crate with it. I don't think it was looted by anyone up until this point, so that's pretty nifty coming into the last fight, potentially with full level 3 gear. Fresh as new. That's pretty nice pickup. If they actually got to pick anything up from it.
What can they do from here? Prone down already. They know they've just got to get themselves in. And they're going to keep themselves going and see who else could be eliminated. Frank managed to achieve top 4 as a solo player here for Se7en as Nemerov. He's landing the big boy shots now on PG-18. They do not give a damn. Havoki finds himself getting knocked. Yes, he'll probably be res, but look at the movement. PG-18 already starting to push forward. They're saying, do you know what? I don't care about you guys doing this. We want to get involved and we want to take some more kills. They can see this being the game where they get 15+ kills.
Also, if not already, that could be a helmet gone on towards the 4AK player. That could be the difference maker in those last fights you might be able to, might be forced to take with one another. Speaking of no helmets, Frank doesn't have one, but he doesn't need one because he's not shooting at anyone.
He's like, my wizard tower has worked out. Magic is true in the moment. But when I go out here and you can just see him looking around so cautiously, hiding behind anything he can find. It doesn't matter how small it is, he wants to try and hold on to it. As Yannick, up on the main screen, taking a few more shots at 4AK. And this is going to keep 4AK busy, which is just going to benefit Frank more and more here. No one's looking for him at this point.
In all fairness, the only team that has at any point had a fight that are still alive with Frank is 4AK. So they know he was down there, but then there was all chaos with a lot of teams going out, and that might have been them losing him in the midst of it. So if they get taken down now by, for example, Northern Lights or PG, that could be Frank sneaking his way super far into these into the late game, or into like potentially top 2 spot.
And that's the thing with what you were just saying there. Frank could be quite easily have moved at any point, right? They may have thought already he's gone. So he's got chill mode for now, and he's just got to keep himself ever so carefully moving forward. As we've sent it up, PG-18 the closest. Northern Lights taking a few more shots here to 4AK, who have found their players being knocked down multiple times now. But Frank, he is spotted out. Nemirov's not going to allow him to survive any longer. Northfresh straight away taken out as well. They are just hungry. They're just fully going for it. Out in the open, taking the fights and doing it as a unit. Only Nalup's gone down. Nemerov up at 5 kills. The same for D's. And they just want to spray down anyone that gets in their way.
And with PG out early in the game, or with Gamerlegion out early in the game, PG and Northern Lights are really looking to rack up some points here. And they sure are already. Yannick finds the deep. There's still one more player to deal with on his left. Does he see a Bucky? Yep, he gets found, and now it's just one more player alive. 15 kill win, unless if Perfectix with an M249 can pull off something absolutely impressive.
And I literally called it, what, about 2 minutes ago. This could be the 15-kill game for PGA team. They are ready for it. But Perfectix, he wants to do as much as possible. He's getting sprayed out. He's trying to do his best. And he does manage to get one at least. It's going to be a 14-kill game overall for PG18. But not a bad way to start off this day with a circle that was heavily over towards the west.
Yeah, I had my if there's any weapon
you
can pull off a 1v3 with, right? And you saw it as soon as you saw the first one, just keep down that mouse button and spray like a madman.
Just wait.
But the circle got the better of him, and 14 is what they'll have to settle with. I'm sure they're rather satisfied though.
Yeah, that was a pretty convincing first game for PG18, and admittedly, right, they had the circle from the beginning, but they were never quiet. They were just fighting, and they didn't have a lot of kills at the beginning because on the rotation you were watching the teams go past them, and they weren't actually able to just like, oh, we're keeping teams at bay, but we're not actually able to take the fights. And then as soon as it got active, where we saw like 10 teams remaining, that was it. More and more kept coming their way. They held onto that compound. They were pressuring teams away from them, even when they had to move out. They had full control, and it's just the way they moved around the circle. Now, we see a lot of it, right, where teams split up and they'll go, when they're 4 alive, they'll do the 2-2 split and take a lot of control. What I like from PGA was that they just kept the whole bunker of all 4 of them together. They weren't looking to split up because they were looking, okay, if we take a fight, we're going to go straight in for the kills, and that's why they ended up with such a heavy kill game.
You had to make room for yourself. As you said early on in the game, you had Swamp and you had the field, and they were controlling the entire southern side of Swamp. And if they start letting people come within nade distance, distance from where they can maybe spot you out on an off angle, that's going to make it so damn hard for you to do anything. Look at the control of Lipson right there. Good showing. But yeah, I mean, great win for PG. They've shown us that they belong here. I mean, if not even here, then maybe even in PEL. We'll have to see by the end of this season, of course. But of course, I mean, a team that has in phase 1 played an open, they qualified to move on, they went through promotionals, came into contenders, and now they're sitting on top of this. I mean, that's just impressive to see.
And this is it, right? We spoke about Nail Up right at the beginning when we started it, when we had the group stages. And we were saying him as an individual was such a key player. But now it's beautiful because we're seeing more from PG18 as a whole. It's not just looking at a couple of players. This entire team is starting to deliver as an actual squad.
My only question is, because they're PG18 for the reason that Silas wasn't able to play in contenders. If he, I don't know exactly how old he is, but if he turns 18 before next phase, do they pick him back up or do they keep Nail Up? And do they then change the name? Because they can't be PG18 anymore, right? Because they're all over 18.
Be PG18 just for the meme to keep it alive, right? And just be like, hey, look, we waited this out. But you make a very good point because you could have so much success and then think, but we still want our main team together. And it's
exactly.
I guess in Nailup's mind, he already understands that this is a potential thing to happen, right? But he can show himself as an individual to other teams and stuff like that. I get it. But it's kind of horrible when you've qualified, you've done all this great work as a team, and then you potentially just give up on that unit as itself and go back to where you were.
We can put it no matter what happens. I mean, no matter how this all unfolds, in any case, Nailub, to me at least, has proven himself as belonging with a contenders team enough that if he does not get to stay with the bunch, I'm pretty confident there's a team that will say, we could really use that new 4th guy, you know? And then I'm sure Nailub would find a new team rather easily.
We saw it from Sigsy, right? Individual skills that were shown across phase 1, now finds himself in the Pro League, and you're sat there, he's loving life. And sometimes that's just the way it works out. Team changes are needed. You want to spruce things up a little bit. You want to bring a bit of new energy to a team. You spot one of these players that isn't necessarily young or whatever, but you just see, oh, actually, this is a great hidden talent. Let's see what we can get from him. As we look at how it goes down in the end, we see 8 kills come in for Northern Lights. We'll see them with 14 points overall. Not a bad start from them either. So I think for 4AK, this is maybe their chance to say, well, look, we can come into this. We can still fight. And yes, it's not actually like a massively high kill game, but they can still be very confident that we're not done and dusted just yet.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, a double-digit game is always good. And for them to get themselves into good placement with kills on it as well, I mean, as we keep saying, if they can keep it going, there's a pretty good chance they'll be able to make it out of that bottom 12. But for now, there's still more games for them to fight on through, and the inconsistency has kind of been the thing for them. They've had to change up loot spots on both Erangel and Miramon. I don't know if that's been the main reason for their or for them not playing to the same level as they did in the group stage, but they clearly have had some work to do. But with good placement there, who knows?
And that's what it's about, right? It's like when you do have to give up that space, it's how quickly you can adapt to it. Because we've seen it many times, Toby. Teams, they get given a new spot they have to take because they can't actually challenge the team that's taken their initial loot spot. And then they feel like they're in limbo. They're lost for a good few games before they actually come back into it. So it's a full kind of how quick can you adapt? How fast can you do it to make the magic happen?
Yeah, that's that's the name of PUBG. PUBG #adapt. There's a reason for it, because it's actually quite true. You need to always be ready to change up things in order to keep on being successful.
A lot of damage here from Northern Lights, so they were continuing to be active. Remember, they came from military base as always, but didn't get all the kills alongside it, but it just meant that they were keeping people at bay. D's, though, 6 kills, 5 knocks in there, and 3 headshot kills. I don't see that all too often.
D's is a very talented player, and well, I mean, he's kind of been going under the radar after he stopped playing with one of the higher up teams, at least as far as fame and fortune goes. But now sitting himself up in a 4th place with that good win right there, that's going to leave him very satisfied, and things only getting close up in the top.
Yeah, our top 4 teams are just stretching distance from each other, right? They're like, oh, we're nearly there. I can get it. I can make it happen. Northern Lights just edge it in because Gamerlegion, they went out very early on this summer round in 14th. It wasn't the game they would have wanted. But this can all turn around. We know how it goes. We know how the game goes. And we know how these circles can go.